Fala galera, eu sou Igor Miranda e trago para vocês um papo com Bumblefoot, ex-guitarrista do Guns N' Roses, que hoje está com Sons of Apollo. O supergrupo vem ao Brasil neste mês de agosto para uma turnê de 4 datas em Curitiba, São Paulo, Rio de Janeiro e Brasília. Falamos sobre esses próximos shows, sobre os outros projetos de Bumblefoot desde o início da pandemia, sobre um possível novo álbum do Sons of Apollo e vários outros assuntos. Se liga!
Let's talk about Sons of Apollo, one of my favorite bands from recent years. And this new album is amazing, man. But it's been a while since you guys released this latest album, 2020. But finally, you guys will come to South America. By the way, this concert should have happened 2 years ago, I guess. So,
Two and a half.
What are your expectations for on getting back to South America with Sons of Apollo?
No, actually, you're right. Yeah, 2 years ago, but it'll be 2.5 from when the concert actually happens, I guess. Well, it's just too damn long, too long. What do I expect? I expect the usual. I expect the fans to be amazing, the crowds to be amazing. I'm hoping that I'll have a chance to see my friends there that I rarely get to see. And I guess the only difference this time is that we have to be so careful about not catching anything and not being able to do the next show and things like that. So, before the pandemic, someone gets sick, they're sick, the show goes on, they're coughing, they're puking, whatever it is, but we still play the show. Now it's like, oh, you can't get into the country, and it's a whole other issue. So we're gonna have to be a lot more careful, unfortunately. So, the usual shit of just, hi, nice to see you, from a distance, and like all that crap. Yeah, I mean, we have to, yeah, for everybody's benefit.
Carefully rocking, I must say.
Yes. Yeah.
And what have you been doing since the beginning of the pandemic? How did you spend your time during those months out of the road?
I have spent most of my time in this room alone, writing music, recording music, doing a lot more mixing people's albums and producing bands when I could. I did produce a band. I did leave here and produced a wonderful band called the Dodies, Dodies. Great band. We recorded their second album together last year. We went to Ireland. It was like a good meeting place for us from where they are, from where I am. And the album came out great. Love this band so much. So that, and I did in 2020 go out and do some touring with David Ellefson. We played together and did a bunch of stuff for the that album of covers, the no cover album that we were on. So that was nice. But for the most part, I spend it in here just doing the things I love, teaching when I can, and making music and laying solos. Here's one that I just started laying for Carmine, a piece for something he's working on.
Wow.
So, yeah, just doing that every day and trying to remember the Sons of Apollo songs, trying not to, it's been so long, and I've been bad. I should have, if I spend every day playing those songs, I would be playing them so incredibly. But though I got busy doing other things, and then months pass and time passes, and then it's like, oh my God, I gotta relearn these songs. These songs are too tough. They are the craziest songs. The parts to them are just so too much. I got a lot of practicing to do. Yes, definitely. It's crazy. All kinds of. I won't even embarrass myself trying to play them right now. I pretty much remember. I remember the main riffs. So yeah, I'll be ready. I promise. I'll be ready.
I believe in you. But before the pandemic, you guys were playing a super cool set list with songs from both albums and a version of Perfect Strangers from Deep Purple, with you taking the lead vocals, by the way. So what can fans expect when it comes to your set list for those concerts in South America? Are you planning to change some songs for this tour? What is the plan?
We talked about it a little bit, but I think once it gets closer, then we'll say for sure what we're going to do. Definitely first album, second album, we'll do stuff from that. Are we going to do covers? I don't know. I'm not sure if we're going to or not. I guess we'll see. We'll vote on it and see how everyone feels. Me personally, I don't want to sing Perfect Strangers. I would rather sing Iron Maiden. And I told them that from the beginning. I said, look, if you're going to have me sing something, let me, I want to sing Maiden. but
Which song would you say?
Oh, any. I don't know. I mean, what do you think we should do? If we were going to do a Maiden song, what song?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe a proggy one from Brave New World, Beyond Brave New World album. What would you say?
I don't know. Well, here's the thing. It can't be too proggy because everyone's on different instruments that we don't play.
Yeah.
So you're going to have Derek on my guitar. So if it's too tough to play, yeah. And if you have, I think Jeff is on drums, and yeah, so it's. I always tell Mike, I was like, can we please not do that? But he loves doing it. He loves it.
Yeah. And talking about Brazil, what are your memories from your other trips here? Because you came not only with Sons of Apollo in 2018, but also with Guns N' Roses in so many different situations, from the Rock in Rio Festival to that concert a year before, the stage collapse, and you did an acoustic show for the fans in front of the stage, the hotel. What are your memories from those Brazilian trips?
Also, Marcelo Barbosa, he brought me down and I did clinics at two of his schools and we played together. We did this outdoor show together. Oh, I love that guy. Such a wonderful guy, an incredible guitar player. Yeah, he's the best. So many wonderful friends and so many good times. The show itself, I remember the least. I barely remember the shows themselves. I remember everything else, like just the times just hanging out with people and chatting and eating and eating and eating and eating and eating. Yeah, so a lot of that. Definitely eating.
Yeah, you got it right from Brazil.
Yeah, and I always tell people, I say, if you're going to have your last meal on earth, it should be Brazilian barbecue. Indeed. Absolutely. And just keep that thing flipped on the green. Just keep going.
Yeah. And it's really cool that not only Sons of Apollo, but you as a solo artist are always paying attention to South America and some alternative markets, as they say. I heard you say in another interview that you recently toured in China, Indonesia, South Korea, South Africa. I mean, they're not ordinary destinations for American hard rock and heavy metal artists. What is the difference between playing a concert in America and in different countries like the ones I mentioned before?
Well, what I've found most interesting is that, I'll go to Bahrain and you know what you see there? Bunch of long-haired kids in Metallica shirts jamming to Iron Maiden, or Iron Maiden shirts jamming to Metallica. Go to Albania. You go to anywhere on this planet, and it's the same thing. And you realize after a while, like it really, the only difference besides, geographically and climate and culture, like, which sounds like a lot, but really everybody's the same when it comes to music. When it comes to this, and when it comes to music, when it comes to rock music and people that love it, we're one world and we're one one thing. And you see the same kind of people everywhere in the world with the same passions and the same love and the same interests, and you bond. You don't feel like you're in a foreign place when it comes to that. It's the same. And that I found surprising. The more I travel, the more you realize how similar we also are when it comes to music. I did a lot of work with the State Department, with the government. Like, different embassies would bring me out to do these programs, and they would always say, look, music does what politics can't. Music brings people together. And it's true. It really is true. And I would play places that I was very unfamiliar with. Going to Belarus, I remember in 2014, and just the most badass musicians just jamming, we're playing AC/DC, we'll do Guns covers, like all kinds of shit, and they are just so great. And it's like playing at home. It's like playing anywhere. Realize that it truly, like, there is no divide between us when it comes to music, and especially rock music.
Yeah, it's really good to know, especially in this moment when we are so divided everywhere.
Yeah, it's so fucking unnecessary and so stupid.
Yeah,
it really is. Like, we need to come together. And yeah, well, that's the thing. Again, politics divides, music unites, it unifies.
yes.
Yeah.
Now I'd like to talk a little bit about the 2020 album, and it's even better when I have the opportunity to interview a musician sometime after an album release, because everybody's impressions on that work are more solid. But so how do you feel about that record more than 2 years after its release?
I think I like it more now than I did when we first put it out. When we first put it out, I felt like it was a lot of cake and not enough icing, in a way. Like, my personal feeling, like, I don't know, like, it just didn't touch me as much. And over time, I guess my own album grew on me. And now there's so many things I like about it that I appreciate more now. I guess maybe I was too close to it and spent too much time inside it, because we had time to nurture it and keep redoing or changing and saying, oh, let's try something different here, let's try something different here. Where with the first album, we were writing it in the studio and recording it as we wrote it. And once we left that studio, there's no going back. We were committed. And there's something to that. You're getting a spontaneity that you don't get to chip away at. You don't get to second guess. And it is what it is, for better or worse. And it gives it its identity. The second album, we had more time to fuck with it. And it might have made it better. Either way, it came out to be what it was meant to be. And maybe I was a little burnt out on it by the time it was being released. But now, I really appreciate both albums as like one collection of music. And I'm looking forward to playing music from both for everybody. Yeah.
Good to know. And I know many musicians don't like the word supergroup, but it's the best definition for Sons of Apollo, because every musician in this band is a master on their instrument. What can you say individually about each of the guys, about Jeff, about Billy, Mike, and Derek?
Oh, I mean, they're all, what can I say? It's very kind of them to, to let me hang out with them and make some noise while they're doing their masterful stuff. And I'm just going, dee, 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 dee. So yes, thank you guys. Thanks for letting me hang out. Well, it's like, they're the pros and I'm like the kid that gets to sit in the room like, wow. That's, I'm exaggerating a bit and just trying to be stupid and funny. Yeah, I usually fail at being funny, but I'm very good at being stupid. So, yeah, I mean, what can you say? They all have earned their notoriety and the respect they have certainly earned it. Each one is a very unique ingredient, as any band member is in any band. And you put them together and you get something there's just one of. And I'm grateful for, for the last 5 years of noise we've made together. And, a lot of ups, a lot of downs, everything a band has. So it's been I've enjoyed the ride, and I think that we've made some good music that some people have enjoyed, and I look forward to celebrating with those people in a couple of months. Yeah.
Super cool, man. And I read an interview some time ago where you said that before Sons of Apollo, you almost forgot how much you loved playing progressive music. How different is for you to play progressive music, especially compared to your other previous experiences?
Yeah, my own music was pretty damn progressive. Yeah, solo music over the years, but it started becoming more of just fancy guitar and the foundation more just straight, whether it was like punky or rock or whatever I felt. But to be playing with people that are all just so exceptional at what they all do, and adding things that I wouldn't think of, and it's very inspiring, and it made me just truly love that. It made me want to expand on it and get even crazier with the stuff, and just see how far we can push each other with all of those things. So it can get a little sporty. It can become a bit of a sport, as long as you don't lose the musical side of things. That's the important thing. Because as a musician, this can become like a sport. And you have to remember that that's not what it's about. I mean, it's fun in a self-indulgent kind of way. And people who enjoy that, they enjoy it. But ultimately, really in the end, whether you're playing, and I was just saying this before, whether you're playing fast or playing slow or playing something progressive or playing something very straight and simple, and as long as you're making people feel something, that's what it's about. That's what counts. I like to make people feel like there's a circus in a tornado. Just total insanity, just like, what the fuck is going on? That kind of thing. So sometimes I go in that direction with things, but then also other times it's just all about, just a nice melody. Yeah. So as long as you're giving people something, some musical piece of who you are, and making them feel something, then you're doing the right thing. And the rest is just dressing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bummer, but it's my last question. I'd like to know if you guys have any plans on recording a third album, and a little more about your other projects. You said you're even mixing, producing new bands.
Oh, yeah.
So tell me about everything.
Everything, let's see. Yeah, I mean, me personally, I would love to get a third album going, and we'll see what happens. We just gotta see what happens. But meanwhile, I think during the pandemic, there was this unexpected gift of time that we all jumped on to do the things that we weren't able to do. And with that, yeah, for me, I got to get back to doing so much more mixing and producing and all of that, and guest solos and teaching, which I love. Working on my own album of another instrumental album. I haven't done a full instrumental album since 1995. So it's pretty overdue. And I've been working on that slowly while just doing everything else, and collaborating with people and doing all kinds of other things. I tend to put myself last. If I have a load of work to do, rarely will I say, nope, can't do that. I got to work on my own thing. I'm trying to do that more, because my own album is never going to get done, because I'm always putting my own things aside and saying, oh yeah, let me help you with that. Let me do this with you. And so I'm trying to put myself into that equation as well, and say, oh, let me do something for me and not forget about me and my own music. So I'm working working on that, slowly getting there. Hopefully next year I'll have an album to release of my own music. I'm hoping that, yes,